Thank you for joining us today. We're going to go through some questions that have been asked regarding 1099-K forms. Please note that we are not tax accountants, and the information that we will be giving you is information that we discovered on the internet, asked questions, and is the best advice that we could find to help you on your journey to file your taxes. Question: Hi, my total is off on the 1099 by about $20,000. How can I make sure I do this correctly? Does it include sales tax and selling fees? And any idea why it's off? The answer we found is you must file your 1099-K with your return. It is important to note that your 1099-K will include your gross distributions, not the money you netted after the transaction fees. Many times this is why taxpayers think their 1099-K is correct. Although you are required to put your gross earnings on your tax return from the 1099 that was sent to you, you will then be able to deduct any fees under your expenses, which is typically done on a Schedule C. You can also go to irs.gov and sign into your account and get a transcript of any 1099-Ks that may have been sent out. At this time, they are probably not ready, but there are a few people that might have their transcripts already filed with the government. Next question: anybody get a sales report or 1099 from Facebook Marketplace? You can go to your sales reports in your Facebook seller's dashboard, click on your reports, and that should have a order history. If you click on your order history, then you're going to use the past year and submit for that. It says that it's going to send it to your email, but I'm going to show you an easier way to get it. So after you close out of this, you can click on your reports again, and then your report will show the order history with which you requested. When you click on that, it will download it into a CSV file. Your use and disclosure obligations will show up. It is a good idea to always understand your Facebook Commerce Product Seller Agreement, with which you can find right here. You can close out of that or read about your seller agreement. Next question: when I go to compare the Facebook 1099 to my records, the 1099 is only going to report the amounts that were deposited into my bank account. Is that right? Again, like the first question, the answer to that is the 1099 total amount is your gross distributions and not the money you netted after any transaction fees. A couple of things to note: triple check you're calculating the gross amount right. That should add up to the 1099. Add up everything again just to be sure. Also, take the time to read the 1099-K instructions on the IRS website to be sure you're including or excluding everything from the total as appropriate. If it's still off compared to the 1099, consider preparing a reconciliation of Facebook's 2021 Excel spreadsheet. You can download your bank account deposits, the sum of all the sales per the detail under shipping orders, and the Your Sales tab to the 1099 to see if you can figure out why it might be off. If it still doesn't tie together, the next step would be to try to contact Facebook for some help. Ask them to explain the discrepancy. When going through that process, it's very important to keep a record of the communication. Print it out, save it to the desktop on a PDF, whatever you prefer. Just make sure you have a paper trail of them being uncooperative or not helping. This will be a great support later to have to discuss with your tax accountant or even the IRS if necessary. If that doesn't work and you're running up against the filing deadline, strongly consider getting an accountant to help with the issue and maybe suggest having them extend your tax return if they don't think it can be resolved before the filing deadline. Have them go back and analyze the work you did with the reconciliation to make sure you didn't miss anything. Ask them what to do about the situation overall and consider that advice. They may have dealt with this situation before. They could suggest something like this article below from what TurboTax suggests, or they might have some other ideas. Next question: anyone know how to get my tax forms from Facebook? It's holding me up for filing taxes. If you believe you should have received a 1099-K and have not received one by the date, consider contacting the processor to find out if one has been prepared for you. If the processor did not prepare a 1099-K, you should report your sales on a Schedule C of the 1040 return and leave the 1099-K line blank. You can also go to the IRS website and request that transcript like we talked about earlier. However, as of right now, most of those 1099-Ks have not been filed, but they have seen that some might be, so it's still good to check. I hope all of this was helpful. We do have a couple other tax videos that you can refer to regarding this. Happy selling, everybody.